Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the science of why our brains absolutely refuse to shut off, and more importantly, how we can finally find some peace. If you've ever felt totally trapped in a loop of your own thoughts, well, you are definitely in the right place. Let's just jump right in.
We have all been there, right? You literally tell yourself, just stop thinking about it. And somehow, your brain responds, absolutely not. Let's analyze it from 47 different angles. It's almost funny how our minds completely rebel against our own commands to just relax.
And this usually leads us straight into the dreaded 2 a.m. mental replay. You replay the conversation, you question your decision, you wonder what someone meant by that text message, you imagine what could go wrong, and then you create 5 different scenarios for something that hasn't even happened yet. And eventually, you're just totally exhausted.
Section 1. Why we overthink. Let's unmask the brain's don't get killed device.
The truth is, your brain isn't actually trying to torture you. Our primitive minds evolved what psychologists call a don't get killed device. Now, 100,000 years ago, this was highly effective for avoiding wild predators like woolly mammoths or preventing starvation. But today, the world has changed. Our brains, however, kind of haven't. That exact same alarm system now reacts to modern uncertainties, like an unanswered email or a perceived social faux pas, as if they were literal life-threatening emergencies.
To understand how this works mechanically, we have to look at the default mode network, or DMN. When you finally stop to rest, your brain's DMN kicks in. Think of it as your mind's overnight planning committee. Its job is to run simulations to prepare you for tomorrow. But sometimes, this committee forgets to clock out. It just spins into repetitive, negative thought patterns, desperately trying to solve problems that don't even exist yet.
Add in a psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect, and things get even more complicated. The Zeigarnik effect is basically our tendency to hyperfocus on unfinished tasks. Because of this, any ambiguous conversation or unresolved situation acts as an open tab in your mind. Just like a web browser with way too many tabs open, your brain desperately wants to close it, so it keeps forcing your attention back there.
Now, what's really interesting is how this concept challenges our basic understanding of memory. We usually assume memory is just the filing cabinet, a place to store the past, but neuroscientists know that memory is actually a prediction machine. When your brain brings up that awkward conversation at 2 a.m., it's trying to extract data to protect you from making a similar mistake in the future. It's trying to teach you, not torment you.
Section 2. The illusion of control. Trying to feel certain about the uncontrollable.
Here's the thing. Overthinking isn't always about thinking too much. Sometimes it's about trying to feel certain about something you simply can't control. Your brain may be searching for an answer that doesn't exist yet. What if? Why did they say that? Did I make the right decision? What if I mess everything up? The more you think, the more you temporarily feel like you're doing something about the problem. But our brain is just confusing thinking more with actual solving.
And this constant looping mental load has a severe cost. It triggers decision fatigue. This isn't just a buzzword, folks. It's an actual neurobiological stress response, where your cognitive resources become completely depleted. You experience mental exhaustion without moving a single muscle, emotional numbness, you start avoiding small tasks, and you find yourself trapped in a cycle of overthinking followed by total inaction.
Section 3. Problem solving versus rumination. Are you moving forward or just going in circles?
To protect our energy, we really need to break down the core difference here. Problem solving is specific. It's future-focused, and it ends in a clear decision or action. Rumination, on the other hand, is vague. It's past-focused, incredibly repetitive, and it never actually reaches a conclusion. While problem solving reduces your stress over time, rumination only increases your distress the longer you let it run.
Psychology shows us that rumination actually operates as a habit loop. First, there's a trigger, like an unresolved event. Then comes the behavior, the mental replay. Finally, the result. You get a momentary false reward where your brain feels like it's figuring it out, but it never leads to a resolution. It just leads to exhaustion. And that exhaustion becomes a brand new trigger, restarting the whole shebang.
So, to break this cycle, you need a pattern interrupt. Next time you catch yourself spiraling, ask yourself this directly. Am I solving a problem right now, or am I just rehearsing every possible outcome? Can I actually control what I'm worrying about? Do I have enough information to make a decision right now? If the answer is no, and there is no action attached to the thinking, you are simply going in circles.
Section 4. How to break the loop. Actionable tools to reclaim your peace.
If you find you're just rehearsing, try this. Grab a pen and use this grounding checklist. Write down, what am I worried about? What can I actually control? What is one thing I can actually do about it right now? And what do I need to release for now? Getting this on paper shifts your brain out of the emotional limbic system and into the logical prefrontal cortex. It turns abstract panic into concrete action. Another incredibly powerful tool is called cognitive diffusion. This is a technique where you learn to relate to your thoughts in a totally new way. Instead of viewing your thoughts as literal truths or strict commands you must obey, you simply observe them as passing words. You step back and watch the thoughts happen without getting all tangled up inside them. Here is exactly how you apply it. Instead of saying, "I messed everything up," you add a short phrase to the beginning. You say, "I am having the thought that I messed everything up." By simply adding, "I am having the thought that," you create immediate psychological distance. You remind your nervous system that thoughts are just words, they aren't actual threats, and that effectively takes the power right away from the worry.
Finally, we have to talk about self-compassion. The research heavily emphasizes this. Self-compassion is made of 3 distinct components: self-kindness, which is treating yourself warmly; common humanity, recognizing that everyone struggles; and mindfulness, which is observing your pain without totally exaggerating it. Balancing these 3 overlapping facets acts as a shield. It has been scientifically shown to regulate our emotions, decrease anxiety, and protect us against emotional dysregulation. It allows us to step out of that harsh self-criticism and treat ourselves with the exact same grace we'd automatically offer to a really good friend.
Section 5. Releasing the need for certainty. You don't have to live tomorrow today.
Overcoming overthinking means accepting a tough reality. You don't need absolute certainty before you can have peace. You don't need to know exactly how everything will turn out. If there is absolutely no action you can take right now, sometimes the most emotionally intelligent response you can give yourself is simply saying out loud, "I don't have to solve this tonight."
Remember, you don't have to mentally live through tomorrow before tomorrow actually gets here. Your mind deserves a break too. You can't always control the very first thought that enters your mind. That's just your evolutionary alarm system firing off. But you can absolutely learn which thoughts actually deserve your attention and which ones you can just let go.
I'll leave you with this final thought to reflect on today. Take a moment and ask yourself, what's something your mind keeps replaying that you wish you could finally let go of? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Practice that cognitive diffusion, give your brain a well-deserved rest tonight, and I'll see you in the next one.